Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also The Brink. And before we get into this, I just want to thank everyone for the great support so far. This has been a great community building and I love it. We had a great day yesterday and I have been showing the love of everyone on YouTube that has watched my videos and I love it. So I really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much. Now, today's news, it's day two of covering news on Steam Deck. I'm going to cover it as much as I can, as long as there's, plenty of news. I'm also planning on doing gaming news too in the near future. I'm just focusing pretty hard on the Steam Deck right now, and I continue to do that in the future. But make sure to watch the whole thing. Wait until the end, because I'll be covering the juiciest news towards the end. And before we get into it, like the video, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar, and let's get into it. So first up is, you might not know this, there is a Steam Deck feature request form. So steamcommunity.com has forums, right? So they have a whole set of feature requests that you can go and look at or request. So you as a user of Steam can request features. Some of the ones that are a little bit more notable are like adjustable frame rates, limits that is. And so instead of just 30, 60, adjust it to whatever they want. Trackpad typing, ideally like the Steam controller, so that you can pull up the onboard keyboard and just swipe and fill out your forms with the trackpads. Then we also have stuff like ability to download and update during sleep/standby, which is one that I'm surprised they don't have, because I believe Steam on Windows does that, I believe, but it also, the computer is, that's a little bit different of a feature. This one is, so if you turn the button off and it goes into like sleep mode, where it drains about 10% of the battery every day, I think they should be able to like allow for, if it's being charged, that is. So as long as it's being charged, and maybe I could be wrong, maybe, because this is coming from the forum, I haven't looked into this section yet, but yes, being able to update and download while it's in standby mode, sleep mode, would be an awesome feature if they haven't implemented that yet. So, okay, if you want to see anything else, let's cover one more, actually. The KDE Connect integration for mobile phone connection seems like a really cool feature. And it's a Linux specific package, it looks like, and it just allows you to have additional features when you connect your phone to your device. So if it's Linux or SteamOS, or just whatever device that's running Linux that's compatible with this software, will allow you to see like phone notifications, I believe, potentially even text messages, and just much more. So it's a very integral part. Like, it integrates your phone into the system, and do use Mac partially for work, and I do know like the integrating with the phone, it's a really nice feature. So I'm actually really hopeful that this becomes a priority, and I really think Steam, they've locked down the OS a little bit. You can unlock it. They're gonna make it so that you can unlock it and probably install stuff like this. I don't know compatibility wise how compatible it is, but hopefully we see this in the near future, so keep that, keep an eye on that if you have a Steam Deck. Okay, let's get into the next piece of news. Just updates from Valve. This is coming from the Washington Post, and this is coming, a lot of these quotes are coming from a Steam Deck designer, Jay Shaw, and he goes over a couple of things in this interview. And one of them is, unfortunately, the numbers, they can't share them right now. The supply chain issues, they're real. He does continue to like say that, and then does say some numbers later on, which let's quote read that. "We would never have been able to predict what supply chain or any other kind of logistical issues would look like in the future," said Shaw. So even if we had decided to postpone, I don't think we would have had confidence to say, well, in 2023, this is the silicone's going to look like, or this is what shipping is going to look like. Griffiths added that he approximates that tens of thousands of users are receiving decks right now, and it's going to be in the hundreds of thousands soon after that. What the time frame is on that, I don't know. Q1, Q2, Q3, but just the next thing that we're going to get into is going to be a little indicative that maybe we're going to be getting our devices a little sooner than expected. The next piece is like the battery life. They're trying to tweak it, and with software they can tweak it a little bit more, but they're really not expecting that you're going to be able to drastically change games that you play, like God of War, where it gets about 90 minutes if you play it at I believe the recommended specs on that. You get about 90 minutes battery life. They're not expecting drastic changes with tweaks, but I'm sure some games where they're really bad, we could maybe see some good improvements. That really time's going to tell on that, and to see where optimizations go. So I'm not going to worry about that right now, and we'll get into that news when it pops up in hopefully the near future with all the updates that they're making to the Steam Deck. And then finally, this is kind of a weird one that I didn't know about. Even some games, and this is in the same interview, but this is, I believe, the Washington Post kind of putting their own little information into it. Even with the verified games list, some of the games are still not fully playable, like Hitman 3, which requires an internet connection, and if it goes missing, then it just becomes unplayable. That being said, yeah, it still is a playable game on verified. It's just it needs to have warnings like verified, playable with internet. I think it's the same thing though. If you're on your laptop and if you go offline, you can't play it. I don't like those types of features, but it doesn't make it any different on the Steam Deck. So let's move on. Just some quick news. So reddit.com /r Steam Deck has some pretty good news. So I definitely, if you want to check out your news in more real time, you can go there. So this one user just got bumped up into Q1, and I might have mentioned this in another video, but this is definitely indicative of what Valve's kind of saying, that they're able to ship a little bit quicker now. And we're really seeing real world numbers now that I believe, their supply chain, it's still weak, but like we're seeing things kind of move along a little bit faster and them trying. So hopefully Q2 plus getting out there, gonna get your devices maybe in Q2. So here's to hoping. It all depends on also when you reserved. Like if you reserved in the past few months, you're less likely to really hit that. This is a really hot device, and so we'll see. But you know what? Waiting is just fine. If you have to wait 6 months to get an amazing device, no problem there. Okay, so with the Steam Deck launch came a trailer, and the trailer was pretty good by Valve. I really liked it. Within it was a little sneak peek at the Portal Spinoff Aperture Desk Job. And it looks pretty fun. And if you don't have a Steam Deck, guess what? You can still play it, and it is free. I still haven't sat down and played it yet. I am going to. I didn't realize it had been out, but I believe it's been out since March 1st. So I'm going to sit down and play it and let you guys know what it is. This is a gaming channel after all. Let me know what you think about that game in the comments below if you've tried it out. I'm curious. I always like little spin-offs, and especially free ones, Okay, next news is Nintendo is at it again, and this is the juicier part, and it's unfortunate. I say juicy, and I don't like seeing YouTubers, and especially YouTubers that work really hard, get squashed down by these companies. But Nintendo is pretty infamous for doing this type of thing. Nintendo and a couple other companies, like even if you put up a trailer while you're talking about that trailer, they will copyright strike you. And it's pretty bad out there with certain companies, and Nintendo has, I don't know how they've been released recently, but they have been very notorious for just being as aggressive as they can, even for people that stream games when they play it. So if they're playing a Nintendo game, and which I think is very good marketing for Nintendo, and these other companies are doing really well, but Nintendo doesn't quite get it yet, I guess. This one's a little different. This is a kind of a gray area, because emulating a game on another device, it brings into piracy, right? I'm not saying the Phawx did anything piratey, like he probably owns all the games, everything. It's just, it does come off like that, and so it is a gray area. And pirating games is a black area. Like if you own the game and you play it on an emulator, I have zero problem with that. If you don't own the game and you don't have access to buy the game to then emulate it, I do have problems with that. I definitely do, because it's you know, it's essentially stealing. That being said, we don't need to go into that. It is what it is. But the Phawx he got on, and I believe it's like Uzu or something like that, emulator. He got it working on the Steam Deck, and he was showing it in a video. And I believe he was even showing it, or at least someone else was showing you how to do it, how to set it up. I believe his video is taken down and actually strikes against him. And I don't know how many, and we don't really know if it's from Nintendo quite yet, because I was actually hearing some rumors that it was from another party. So we'll hopefully see some better, you know, news in the near future on this. And I definitely don't want to see his channel get taken down, because he does some great videos, and I just want to shout him out. Like, if you have not checked out the Phawx, make sure to go check it out. I'll have a link in the description below. Go support him, as yes, he did do this, you know, because he knew it was going to be a good video. I agree, it was a good call. It is just, you got to be careful out there when you're doing these types of videos. And YouTube has a little bit of this issue where it's easy to do strike downs like this, and that's the end. So I've been loving doing this content. Let me know. I'm going to continue doing additional different pieces of content to just find a little bit better my niche, because I'm going to continue doing Steam Deck. I want to do game news. I want to do like performance. I'm going to be doing a performance roundup of Steam Deck, and we'll see how that does. And so, yeah, in the end, thank you for watching. Check out my other videos, and later, guys. Peace out.